Cosmos.com. I am here with Jay from That Will Be Done, one of not only my favorite vocalists, but favorite people on the fucking planet. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm quite dandy. You just killed this place again, even though it was only for 30 minutes. It was like, hey, we're awesome, bye.
Yes.
How'd you feel about the set?
Oh man, it felt great. You know, that's generally like what we look forward to. Is see how it feels. You know, the sound on stage felt pretty decent. You know, just a couple spots where it feels a little wonky, but that's as a musician. You know, wonky. That's the word of the day, children. Wonky. Yeah, man. No, man, it was great, man. I had fun, had a blast. I don't think people were ready for those solos.
No, nobody's ready for the solos.
Yeah, we shredded tonight, actually.
You did.
And it was, I don't know if you know, like it felt extra loud tonight. I don't know. It was something like really like blistering about tonight.
I think it was just extra awesome.
All right. Okay. I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. Extra awesome. Done.
Supporting Earth Crisis, which is obviously legendary.
Oh my gosh.
Legendary band. To be a part of this tour, celebrating the anniversary of their, like, how was that for you?
Absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite bands. You know, growing up, it was like a band that helped define, you know, what I wanted to do with music in a sense. You know, I hadn't heard an aggressive band with something to say until that time. I mean, you know, there were bands, you know, like obviously I grew up with, you know, Metallica and Black Sabbath, but to hear something so different, you know, with a new generation with Earth Crisis, you know, really blending metal and hardcore and punk together with this powerful, you know, message of, you know, it just hits you and you go, wow, this is a band that like has something that they stand for, and it just put things in perspective, you know, for like, wow, you can do that with music, you know, it's powerful, you know, that's the beauty of it, man. Yeah. So I'm absolutely honored and humbled, man.
Well, you mentioned this band Metallica, which you opened up for last year. Which
we did, yes.
Last year was huge for you guys. Obviously, Orion was huge, but the Temple EP, phenomenal as always.
Oh, thank you.
But like, obviously, the greedy That Will Be Done fans like myself, we want new music now.
I know you do.
So when can we expect? What's the latest?
Well, we wrap this tour up and then we go back home and we continue working on the recording. We've been working on it. We just kind of, you know, we stay below the radar. You know, we're not really like, we're not always in the media with those things. You know,
except for Twitter.
Except for Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at TWBD. But like you know, we don't necessarily report every little thing. You know, for us personally, you know, it's just, you know, when something's coming up or keep people, you know, otherwise that, you know, our fans follow us on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. You know, we give them the info, and you know, as far as like the news sites, you know, they pick up on different things, and you know, we're not trying to, you know, get our face everywhere per se, you know, in that sense, you know. So we lay low, lay in the cut, and do our thing, and just, you know, it keeps us making music in our opinion, for the right reasons. Exactly, you know, it's just like we're doing it because we're just five dudes who love jamming in a band, and we like making music. We go through those tunes and we pick out the ones that we want to put out to the world, and that's it, man.
So how close are we to new music, though?
Oh wow. As far as like it being out.
As far as like it being.
Brendan.
Yeah.
Let's get Brendan in for a moment.
Brendan. The Major Rager walks in.
We'll get this guy in
here. This guy. Hold on, I need a stool right now.
I'll pick you up.
Yeah, pick me up. We'll do it. So we were talking about the new music that's coming out eventually. For fans, how does it sound?
It sounds like honest, straightforward metal. You know, like we're all a bunch of fanboys about what we do. You know, when we hear a riff, we geek out about it, even if it's someone else's or our own. And that's our mentality when it comes to writing. It's like if it ignites that little spark, you know, a little like kid in you, you know, like not to sound corny or anything, but like that energy you feel of like, oh, that's fucking, I can swear in this, right? That's fucking awesome.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm a gentleman. But we just look for that energy to spark, rather than just someone being there like, oh, okay, this is a pretty cool song. We want to get people's heads moving, you know, like moving around, doing circle pits, whatever. As long as they have a great time and they feel like, when they heard, not to compare us to any of those bands, but like when you heard like Metallica or even stuff like Queen or anything. Well, that's one of my influences, but it's just that feeling that you get from it, that raw energy. We try not to overthink things. We go by gut feeling rather than like, is this thing going to feel like it's going to go into this part? Or we just go with the flow of what it is. We're very, we're all very spiritual dudes, so it all goes into our music as well. It's not based on like we want to make that little hook to appease that one person, in the crowd. We want to do it so anyone and everyone can get into it. If you don't like metal, like you always listen to it and then enjoy the fact of like, oh, that's a pretty good hook. That's my vibe and my attitude about it.
With all of your previous music, of course you've heard there's 8,000 genres of metal right now.
Right.
But strictly, you guys are heavy metal. Like there's bands out there that are doing, obviously like whatever you want to say.
Right.
You're playing metal music to the purity of what it was back in the day, and you are doing it now. I mean, like, when you go into writing music, are you, in your mind, we gotta keep it metal, or are you just playing the music that you love?
I don't think we necessarily go into it with a preconceived like this is how it has to be. I think it just comes naturally. Personally,
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, we're more songwriters, we fall into the criteria of like it sounds like metal, but like we could like as I said before, with Queen, or like I've listened to stuff from like Susie and the Banshees, like I listen to a lot of different things and things that influence me. Like I don't listen to a genre because that genre is cool to listen to. I listen to stuff that makes me feel good. Like I enjoy listening to that tune. I never looked at trends. I've never looked at things that like, oh, will this make me be allowed to hang out with this group of people?
Yeah.
I always listen to things of like, all right, that's an awesome song. It's a great song, and that's what all of us do. Like we all share the same mentality because we listen to everything. Like besides metal, we listen to things from like old school country to stuff like like even Michael Jackson. Like that's one of my first albums I ever owned was a Michael Jackson album.
Mine was TLC.
Oh, right on. This I think the problem is too like a lot of people have trouble understanding like we're just a heavy metal band and we write music.
Yeah.
They try to like pigeonhole us into any genre. They get frustrated about it. But you know what? I just shrug to that, because we're honest about what we do, and it annoys people just because we kind of have a grin about it,
Well, let me ask you, because there's a lot of bands that you see that are doing the same thing over and over, but with bands like yours, it's so fucking honest. Like it's from your lyrics to the music, it's your heart and soul is there. And it's a genius thing that obviously it's been done before. People do it, but nowadays it seems kind of like a lost art, that it's everything out there.
Right, and I think that's the part where it shouldn't be a foreign concept for someone to express themselves.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it feels as though that we're in a day and age where being yourself is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
There's a lack of confidence out there amongst people and peers, and people don't know how to be themselves without worrying about what other people think.
It's practically frowned upon.
Yeah, it's hard, but for those individuals. But for us, we do what we do because we love it. We don't claim to be, reinventing any wheel or anything, but we just play music from our heart and soul because we're literally expressing ourselves through the medium of aggressive music. We're fans of heavy metal. I mean, like you said, we listen to everything from goth, dark wave, industrial to, one of my favorite bands is the Black Crowes. Black Crowes, it's
Boy, come on.
not a day that goes by I'm not listening to.
Of course.
So
A live performance shows too how we are.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be like, I know I'm a big tough guy, looking guy, whatever.
You're huge.
But I never when I'm on stage, I rock out like the energy I feel. I let out,
Yeah.
But I'm still having a great time. I'll goof around with any of us, that's how we are. We're having a great time. It's not like we're trying to give this image of like we're fucking metal. We're a bunch of technically artists that are expressing ourselves. I know I'm like the nerd, but it's just that's our view of everything. We go out to have a good time. We're not going out to like, oh, we're here to make your lives miserable. It's just like you guys are here to see a show. We're gonna put on a show for you because that's what we're here to do. We want you all to have a good time, and a lot of times people get thrown off by that because they're not used to seeing people like, oh, these guys they're having a great time with each other, hanging out, and you know, just hanging and playing on stage.
You would truly enjoy life.
Yeah,
You do.
it's you can't take anything for granted, and then God forbid, I'm not going to say any of those stupid quotes that everyone says these days. But it's just I enjoy life. You know, I've dealt with a lot of dark things in life, but still, I always have that thing going on where I have that, you know, that middle finger to everything that gets thrown at me, and I have a big grin on my face, even when you don't see it of like anything that's thrown at me. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep going. You know, if you don't like it, tough.
For the fans and for the people out there, positivity advice from you, sir.
Yeah, that's coming.
That is coming.
We're going to announce it here. You heard it here first. We're going to have a corner that this man approved. He would like me to contribute some
I'd
positivity.
be honored to have him do this.
And it's going to happen. So stay tuned on Skulls and Bones, and you're going to start seeing some really cool little blog entries from this guy here and how to, I don't know, just positive droppings from across the world through my perspective.
Indeed. Final words to fans. Go.
Support one another, love one another.
Just listen to music because you enjoy it.
Right.
Just listen to That'll Be Done because they fucking kick ass. Cheers.